There is a unique concept on the island that is quite distinct globally. That is the launch warning for air defense missiles. You read that correctly. The island's Air Force has buried air defense missiles in wells. This forms a permanently fixed air defense position. Of course, building launch wells is still too expensive. Due to budget constraints, many positions on the island lack launch wells. They only built shelters. The story unfolds at the Patriot Missile Defense Site in Taipei. In one grid, there is either a missile launcher or radar. This image illustrates it more comprehensively. You can see that soldiers from the island emerge from their living quarters. They take a few steps to reach the launch position. It is very convenient and relaxed. As for the precious early warning radar, it must be well protected. Building a bunker to protect the radar is not excessive. You can see now the military miracle. Air defense radar has been fortified. The approach of the island's air defense radar system does differ somewhat from others. Our military places a strong emphasis on the mobility and camouflage of air defense equipment. They fear that their air defense positions may be discovered by the enemy. They prefer missile launch vehicles disguised and moving around. At critical moments, they remove the disguise, fire, and then move again. This reflects a guerrilla-style approach. The island, however, is very concerned about its air defense positions not being discovered by the enemy. They prefer to use permanent fortifications to protect missile launchers. The missile positions remain immobile behind these fortifications. They appear to be in a state of readiness. They seem invulnerable. Under the new requirements for a three-dimensional defense, it is assumed that the enemy may conduct reconnaissance and precise strikes on their air defense positions at any time. Therefore, the air defense forces must be capable of moving at any time. They need the ability to camouflage while moving and firing. On the island, due to overconfidence, they believe their adversaries lack precision strike weapons. They can only attack with area damage. Thus, they place great emphasis on fortifying air defense positions. As long as they are not directly hit, the fortifications and shelters can effectively protect the equipment. The new three-dimensional defense concept proposed in the 1990s was to counter the U.S. military. This was due to the recognition of the need to adapt to modern warfare, while the island's fortification in the 1990s aimed to protect its military. The island believed they lacked the capability for precise strikes on targets. But it is not the 1990s anymore. Now it is 2025. Strengthening the island is essential. The island is in greater need of a three-dimensional defense strategy. However, it seems their mindset has not shifted. The air defense positions built on the island are akin to the pillboxes constructed by the Japanese army during the invasion of China. Back then, having a single infantry cannon could have dealt with those pillboxes. Those so-called pillboxes were graves for Japanese soldiers. Unfortunately, at that time, they truly lacked infantry cannons. But now, they indeed possess a plethora of precision strike weapons. Currently, even the lowest-end guided missiles have a hit accuracy of about 1 meter. The island's approach can be considered as continuing to build pillboxes in the 21st century. Moreover, the pillbox mentality extends beyond the air defense forces. It is widespread in the tactics of anti-tank missile exercises. They also prefer to build shelters. Additionally, the island's remarkable strategy includes fortifying anti-ship missiles. It is said that the island originally planned to fortify all its anti-ship missiles, which raised the blood pressure of U.S. advisors. They likely recalled the unpleasant history of the Nationalist Army from 1945 to 1949. Under pressure, the island reluctantly proposed a mobile missile launch vehicles refer to 6 types of civil semi-trailer trucks. Thus, one can see that the pillbox mentality has become rigid on the island. They believe they are invulnerable. They think they cannot be attacked. They will not choose to surrender. To be honest, it is unlikely that they can be besieged for months. Given the island's environment, being besieged for months could easily lead to a humanitarian crisis. Therefore, the best approach is to end the battle swiftly. This tactic can be summarized in one word. Employ Air Force long-range missiles and drones for strikes. These strikes are not indiscriminate. They have clear objectives. One might say that the island has 6,000 air defense missiles, making it one of the most densely armed regions in the world. But this is meaningless. Even if there are 2 anti-aircraft machine guns on the rooftop of a building, that building would also be one of the most densely defended. Among the island's 6,000 air defense missiles, less than 2,000 are medium and long-range missiles. There are a few hundred ground-based Viper medium and short-range missiles. The rest are mostly Stinger short-range missiles. As for the 2,000 medium and long-range missiles, they may seem numerous. However, if considered by pillbox units, it amounts to only about 30 pillboxes, 9 Patriot systems, and about 20 Sky Series air defense missile systems. Each Patriot or Sky system has several dozen missiles, but there are only 8 command control vehicles. And only 1 radar positioning vehicle. If one destroys the radar and command vehicle, the entire air defense system becomes vulnerable. It paralyzed the missile launch platform. It can be cleaned up slowly. The artillery tower on the island provided reconnaissance positioning. The biggest trouble is the 2,000 medium and long-range low-altitude missiles. Only a small portion has the chance to launch to intercept the first wave of attacks. The rest may never have the opportunity to launch. Of course, besides the medium and long-range low-altitude missile systems, the first priority also includes 4 Kidd-class destroyers, 10 Qingdong-class frigates, 12 airfields and 10 police stations, 4 speed missile boats and several command centers. Around 80 air defense missiles are available. Only about 2,000 short-range ballistic and cruise missiles, long-range surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, plus several hundred drones. With electromagnetic interference and suppression, it should be sufficient. These munitions should ideally be used up in a day or 2. It's not a problem. It's only about 1% of the mainland's annual military budget. After this round of strikes, the island would essentially have no air defense capability. Scattered fighter jets would be ineffective. The Air Force could easily eliminate the island's core defense capabilities. The fighting spirit's sustainability is already uncertain. If necessary, they could use drones. The Wing-Long drones are effective for regional conflicts. They are very low cost for landing operations. That's not an issue. These drones, combined with other off-area strike weapons, are sufficient to replace the army. Manned aircraft and larger drones can eliminate the remaining ground defenses. Then smaller drones can take over. Even the small Rainbow 3 drones can operate at around 7,000 meters. They can execute missions at 5,000 meters. After losing all medium and long-range air defense systems, the island has no means to counter these drones. A Rainbow 3 only needs to cover a 10-kilometer radius. 150 can cover the entire island adequately. 500 can provide all-weather surveillance. The island has no choice. It's not like Ukraine. It's too small. More critically, the cost of 150 Rainbow 3s may not exceed the cost of 1 J-20. Even if the island retains some medium to high-altitude launch capabilities, the cost of shooting down a Rainbow 3 is lower. Moreover, one can fire multiple times. If one Rainbow 3 is shot down, there may be several more waiting. Once exposed, it will be targeted. For an island without self-defense, rocket artillery and anti-ship missile launchers are suitable for using drones to search and eliminate them. How long can the island sustain without collapsing? In the future, with manned aircraft seizing control, drones have become the trend for establishing control. The significance of drones lies not only in cost-effectiveness, but also in their internal effectiveness. Externally, they exert psychological and political pressure. For themselves, Drones avoid casualties among their personnel, which reduces internal pressure. For the enemy, the impact of drone strikes is psychologically stronger. For the defender, shooting down an enemy aircraft, even if there are not many, is still a morale boost. For the opponent, it's despair. But if a drone gets shot down, the enemy can quickly replace it. There will be no feeling of loss. Only a sense of hopelessness remains. The times have changed. Finally, like and follow for strategic insights. Let them see the light.